Ah, just the two of us. We can't. Nope, copyright. Anyway, copyright.
Anyways.
And that's the kind of episode this is going to be today, y'all. But hello, hi. Welcome to The Cup, the Currently Unnamed Podcast, where we put the real and the tea in reality. And you can always come to us first to quench your thirst. I'm Logan Murphy. Say something gay. I am drinking a Red Bull, which is probably not the best thing for me to be drinking at the time of night that we are currently recording this video. However, I've got a lot to do tonight, so I made this choice. We're currently drinking the Red Bull Summer Edition. Ooh.
Red.
It's Caruba and elderflower.
I have never heard any of those words in my life besides...
I know what elderflower is, and I like elderflower. I've never heard of Caruba. However,
interesting.
The taste is pretty good.
Okay.
It's kind of citrusy. If I had to describe it, it's like citrusy and floral, and I like it. But I forgot I have to do this part. If I was drinking it out of a mug and not a can, it would be a cup mug. Yes, hello. And you could get yours. It's always the opposite of what you think. That's the trick with StreamYard. It's always the opposite.
There it is. I got it. I found my
Think about it as if I was sitting next to you. That's the best way to think about it. Is like what direction? Yeah, that's tea. You can get your cup mug and all of our other merch at lanagcreations.etsy.com. That link is in the description below. And we do ship domestically within the United States and internationally as well, so there are no excuses.
Yes. And I am River, your fellow Brazilian Drag Race fanatic. This is our hour 5 or 6 of podcasting, so I'm still finishing up my head size coffee. And then now I have some water to kind of rehydrate myself because that is of the extreme importance. I am a little delirious, but this will be definitely an episode.
And this will be an everlasting love. Because Dita Ritz.
I'm not going to
shout out Dita Ritz.
Copyright. Shout out Dita Ritz. I'm waiting for her. All Stars.
They're never going to put her on, and they're never going to put her on. It's going to upset me. There's allegedly 20 girls on All Stars 10, and none of them are Dita Ritz, and it makes me upset.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're not here to talk about All Stars 10. We're talking about All Stars 9. Episode 9. It is the Rusical. I'm so excited to dive into this episode because I loved this episode of television. I really did. I loved it. Mm-hmm. One of the best Rusicals in a minute, and I keep saying that every season.
I was even gonna say not even recent, like one of the best Rusicals ever. Period.
I would say top 5 of all time.
Sure. For sure.
I don't know what else would be in that top 5, but I would say, if not safely top 10, probably top 5. Maybe that's a video we do. Maybe that's a video we do in the off season. Maybe. But we are going to dive into this episode. Before we do, though, make sure to subscribe if you have not already, because we are here almost all the time giving you almost all things drag. Make sure to check out the description below, where we have all of the links to our YouTube channels, our audio podcasts, and where you can join us on Patreon for exclusive content and early access to a lot of our content from across all 4 of our channels, including where you can get early access to the Look Over Here episodes for all of the current Drag Race franchises that we are covering. So, River, let's dive in. We're coming in off of last week. Roxy snipped Angeria for the final time. Thank God the Ruby Snippers are over. I'm over it. I'm done with it. Bye.
Honestly, was it even relevant for anything? Yes, it did give us a little bit of drama, but none of the queens that were snipped actually were in the running for getting a badge. So what was even the point? Anyways,
there was a couple of weeks where a girl that was snipped was in the top, but none of them were in the top 2, like we saw with All Star 7 when they did it with Miss. I don't even know what to describe her as. The one.
Yeah.
That one we don't talk about anymore. And I don't talk about her personally. I don't care what y'all think about the whole situation because there's a lot to think about it, but I don't care personally. But yeah, so they're coming in. it's a like Angie gets it.
Yeah,
cool.
Even before Roxy like snipped her, she was like, you know, like hand me the scissors. She was
like hey girl, I got it.
Yeah.
Like sure, whatever. Great.
Yeah.
Fun.
I was kind of
phenomenal.
done. After like 3 episodes, I was kind of done with the snipping. It was like, for me. But anyways.
Yeah, I think it, I think for a non-elimination all-stars format, I think it makes the most sense. Though I feel like I would really enjoy something where like the people that do the worst like lose badges. Like make badges easier to earn in that way, but also like if you flop a challenge, you lose badges.
Yeah.
Like I hope if we see a non-elimination all-stars format again, I don't know if they're going to do it, odd seasons. If we see it on All-Stars 11, I hope that maybe we get some sort of different twist with it. Because I like that it's the beautiful benefactrism badge. And like it's the same format as All-Stars 7. I just want a little bit of a refresh. In the same way that I felt this way after All-Stars 4 when we had the top 2 format. I was like, I need a refresh. And they did it. And allegedly with All-Stars 10, we're getting a big refresh. So
yeah.
Cool.
We'll see about that one.
But
I wish it was kind of something like for example, the top 2 queens win a badge, and then if you win the lip sync, you win an extra badge. That way, people are not going to be throwing lip syncs. I'm not naming names, but you know what I'm talking about.
Miss, I'm not going to lip sync when there's a male voice happening.
But also when it was a song that there wasn't a male voice, you also didn't know the words. So like, what is that about? Anyways.
We're
not getting into
that. Anywho.
But yeah, I wish there was more stakes. I liked the format when it was All-Star 7, but like I understand being a charity season, they doing it this way, but I wish there was a little bit something different from All-Star 7. Like a similar format, but like a little.
I guess the difference is that it's a charity season. Like,
yeah, but I guess in the format. Yeah.
I agree with you. I guess I'm just saying, I guess that is the twist that makes it different from All-Star 7 is that they're winning money for charity as opposed to winning money for themselves. But yeah, no, I agree with you completely. I want a bit of a refresh. I want not a rebrand, but like I want to be surprised by All-Stars.
I want to be excited. I want to be
excited about it. Definitely.
I want to be
this season This season has been exciting. I know a lot of people have dropped off this season, and I get it, and I understand it. I really enjoy this season. I think it's been a really fun season of Drag Race to watch. And I think a lot of that is the people that are on it for me, honestly.
Yeah, I was going to say, I do like this cast a lot. This is not a bad season by any means. It's just I'm not as excited to watch it every week as I did previously with other seasons. That's all. Yeah.
Absolutely. Like when I'm watching Drag Race on Friday mornings and I have 2 Drag Races to watch, I'm prioritizing Mexico right now, if I'm being honest with you.
Yeah, I just started Mexico and I'm more excited about that than All Stars 9. So
Speaking of, go check out our reviews of Drag Race Mexico, available now on this channel. Ding. But yes, so we go into the workroom the next day. RuPaul walks in, and we find out that our maxi challenge is the Rusical. We are doing Rosemarie's baby shower, the Rusical. Very, very excited about that. And then Ru also reveals that the twist for this week, similar to week 3, I think it was.
Not similar, the same.
The exact same. The top 2 queens of the week will earn 2 beautiful benefactism badges. 1 to keep and 1 to give away. I like that we're doing it multiple times in this season. I have to be honest. I know that this one is probably because Shannel didn't have a badge going into this episode, and it's episode 9. So I get it. And in that way, I understand it. I like that we're seeing it more than once on this season, I will say, because it brings in that element of RuPaul's social strategy race that I really do like as a social strategy game fan myself.
I agree with you. I just wish it was a slightly different twist. Like not the exact same that we had before, where you get a badge for yourself and 1 to give away. I wish it was something a little bit different, like something else, anything else. But I do like that they're doing another twist towards the end of the season. So there's that. But I don't know. I want more. I want more. That's all.
Yeah. So Rosemarie's Baby Shower, the Rusical. I was very excited. Are you familiar with Rosemary's Baby as a movie?
I am familiar. I don't recall if I've seen it. If I did, it was probably just once, but I don't recall it. I am familiar with it, but like I'm not a fan of horror, to be honest.
I'm not either.
I don't hate it, but it's my least favorite genre.
The most horror I will do is Dragula. Like that's honestly for me, like I'll do Dragula because I like Dragula, but yeah, I was very much so in the same vein.
I do like the idea though of doing a Rusical inspired and based on horror movies. I do like that. I think that brings an interesting and different element to the Rusical that we haven't seen yet. And it really makes this Rusical specifically stand out next to the other ones.
Yeah,
like I'm always gonna remember this.
Yeah, we've never had a horror-based Rusical, so I think it's really, really fun that we're getting that. And then as we learn about the roles, we find out that it's not just Rosemary's Baby inspired, but then we're also pulling elements from The Exorcist and from Megan and from Pennywise, which I think was a great addition because from what I remember of the story of the original movie, it's a very basic plot. So I'm glad that we added those elements. I don't think there would be
enough characters for everyone, right? If it was just based on the original story.
Yeah.
Or I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, I like that they mixed in other iconic like horror characters. I think it gave more dimension to the story, the Rusical, everything. Because if they would have stuck to just like the one movie reference, it would have been very much a lot of the same, right? Not too much highs and lows.
Yeah, definitely. The only real like drama surrounding the choosing of roles was that Nina and Angeria both wanted the same role. They ended up pulling a name out of a hat, and Nina got the role.
Which I think it's fair, but they missed an opportunity here to like give us something. Like no one is going home. Everyone is like doing well. They could have done like an audition thing. They could have done something to make this moment more interesting for like the show.
Yeah.
But I do think it's the most fair way of deciding. So
totally. And I do like the role that Angie ended up getting because she got to work with Shannel, and those are my draft babies. I'm claiming Shannel again 9 episodes later. I'm finally claiming Shannel again. I'm very happy. But yeah, so we go into vocal recordings with Michelle, and we have our choreography rehearsals with Miguel Zarate. I'm so happy that Miguel is now our choreographer because I really, really like him. I think he has been my absolute favorite choreographer I've seen on Drag Race because he really understands that not all of these girls are dancers, and so they're going to adjust choreo accordingly. And as we saw in the end product, a lot of choreo was changed.
Or at least
I'm not mad
adapted.
at that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
No, I'm not, because to me, that's what makes a great production is you work to everyone's strengths and not weaknesses.
Exactly.
Right? And to me, that's what a good director does, what a good choreographer does, like all of that. You see like who you're working with, who's the talent that you're working with, and you try to get the best out of all of them. And that's what's going to give the best like final product. So yeah.
Absolutely. What stood out to you I was going to say, what stood out to you in the rehearsals and the all that?
So from the vocal rehearsals, what stood out to me was Shannel not being confident and then like doing well. Because to me, it did make sense that Shannel did well, at least on this part, the vocal part, because to me, she is very camp and she is very dramatic and theatrical in the way that she presents like all of her runways and the way that she just is. So I think it kind of she really fit into like this role that she chose. I think the roles were chosen very wisely. everyone kind of got something that they would be able to stand out and like do well. So I'm happy for that. The other thing that stood out to me was Nina's 8. The vocal rehearsal was so good. It was better than on the actual Rusical for me.
We'll talk
I don't know what they did.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah. And then from the when they were doing the choreography rehearsal, Angie sleeping killed me.
Is she the new Jinx?
It was so funny to me. And Julia always makes me laugh. For some reason, this episode, I was cackling with her. She was just so.
That's my girl right there.
Oh my God. She is so.
Girl. I love her. I'm
always entertained.
Yeah. The other big thing I will say that stood out across both the recording and the choreo rehearsals was Georges adapting to this Megan role that she picked, because it was the heavy dancing role. Of course, it was written for Georges. Like, a lot of these roles felt like they were written for people, but I feel like,
it's
honestly,
a small doll.
Exactly.
Come on.
The only other person that could have done it based on stature alone was Gottmik.
Yeah.
But as we saw, no. But yeah, Georges is like, well, I have to play this AI robot. How am I supposed to do this choreo, and how am I supposed to sound like that? And I understand that, because this is kind of the first time we're seeing Georges being pushed outside of the Georges box.
Because I was gonna say, I think for me, I would think it's especially hard for her, because when she has such fluid movements, like her body just moves in just such a way that is just so natural and not robotic, like totally the opposite of robotic is like her natural and what she's good at. So the fact that she had to do the complete opposite and still did like really well, I'm so happy for her. And the whole like Rusical redemption, because like on the Rusical in her season, she didn't do well. Even though I didn't think she did bad, but
I don't think she should have. To this day, I don't think she should have been in the bottom 2 for Moulin Rouge.
I just don't think who else could have been, because they all did.
I have one other person. And I hate saying this because I absolutely fucking adore her. I think Deja should have been in the bottom.
Right. Maybe, yeah. Actually, I agree with you. Yeah.
I would have done Deja and Bosco.
I actually thought she was in the bottom. That's why I didn't say her. So that's
it was George, because that was the Golden Chocolate Bar week.
Oh, it was Georges and Bosco.
Yeah, it was Georges and Bosco. Bosco. Yeah. But yeah, so nothing. I didn't really have anything else from that. I will say they go straight into the Rusical.
Right. But there was one thing from her rehearsal with Miguel. When Miguel said to Gottmik, I even wrote the actual quote. He said,
"Yes,
through the insecurity and the laughter, you're actually really good." And she was like, "Thank you,
thank you."
It was just that was so funny to me. For some reason, it was just one of my favorites.
I love it. Miguel is so funny. I'm waiting for the day that they also have him on a judging panel, because I want to see him as a guest judge. I think he's just such a fun energy. Like after like the first couple of times I saw him on Drag Race, I followed him on Instagram. He's a hoot. Like, he's a really fun person.
He's fun.
And I think he's such the right choice for Drag Race in this way. Because the first time I remember him doing anything choreo-wise was All-Star 6. I think he might have been a season before that. But it's in the finale where he turns Ginger Minj sexy for like that Final 4 performance for that country song. Oh my God.
Jesus Christ.
I know. I'm so sorry to bring that back into
blocked that out.
But what about Kylie? Kylie was great.
No, I blocked Ginger's part out.
Oh, I blocked the first half of that, and I only think about Riley, or I put their names together. Raja and Kylie.
Well,
Raja and Kylie are Riley, which is my middle name, so that's fun. But yeah, so they go straight into the Rusical. We get a little bit of stuff in the workroom in between, which I thought was weird. The only real thing is they're talking about who they're going to give their second Beautiful Women of Activism badges to, and this is the part where we hear Georgia say, which does come up later, we hear Georgia say, well, if I were to get to be in the top 2, I would give my other badge to Shannel. And which clearly, I think every single queen in that room would have given their second badge to Shannel. 100%. The only one that I could see maybe doing something else is like, I don't know, Gottmik might have given one to like Georges Vanjie, to like maybe. Or Vanjie. Yeah, honestly, it might have been Vanjie again.
The finale, maybe. I don't know.
Or Vanjie, actually. Vanjie probably would have given hers to Mick as a repayment sort of situation. Especially because Gottmik is further down in the badge count now.
As a repayment, I can see Vanjie.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah. But otherwise, should we just go to the runway?
Or I think like or don't you mean the Rusical? Or are we doing the runway first?
Well, we're gonna do the music. Well, first the judges, then the Rusical, then the runway. That's what I meant. But we're heading to the runway where all the things happen. So
everyone got the pink memo.
Oh, best dressed judging panel of
collectively.
If not, you know what? I'm gonna safely go ahead and say of the year so far.
Okay.
Across all the franchises we have, I think this is the best dressed judging panel, hands down. And our guest judge is Christine W., who I learned through this episode and Untucked is a really big deal. I was not familiar with her.
Yeah, me neither.
I have gone and listened. She's stunning. Also, the second line of her Instagram bio is proud gay ally. So like we love her.
Period.
Yeah, I didn't know who she was. That part. I got you.
You know.
I definitely do. What the fuck was I trying to say? Oh, I went back and listened to some of her other music. It's really good. It's like really good. It's like dance music. She's like a dance music diva, and I'm like, cool work, love it.
She was a good judge.
She was a great judge. I love an Untucked too. She was like, I've been waiting years to come on Drag Race, and I was like,
that would have been me. Yeah, that's me. I relate.
Yeah. Oh, same. Ru looks great here. Michelle looks great here, but I gotta say, best dress for me goes to Miss T.S. Madison.
Period. 100%.
I mean, now come on now.
I mean, she is the moment.
Come on now. She is always the moment.
She always. If she's there, she's the moment. She's the one.
Her.
One thing that I want to say though, I absolutely live for RuPaul in this color of hair. It's my favorite RuPaul color of hair. Yeah. This for me, I know RuPaul is not like known as a blonde, but to me, Mother is a ginger, and I will die on that hill.
I absolutely agree with you. This is the best shade of hair for her because it really complements her, how like caramel colored her skin is. Like it's so good.
Every time, in contrast with any color that she's wearing, when she has that color hair, her skin glows extra hard. Like it's just I live.
That part. I do too. Let's talk about our Rusical here, River. So we've got Plastique as Rosemarie, the leading role. We've Shannel as Sydney and Angeria as Ruth, who are the landladies. We have Nina as Dr. Poltergeist. We've got Mick as Blair, the like exorcist character.
Yeah.
Roxy as Pennywise. Georges as Megan. And then Vanjie is Rosemarie's baby.
I was confused with that one.
The Vanjie's baby, role. I believe, in the Angie's role.
Vanjie's role was
in the original movie.
Disconnected.
In the original, I believe in the original Rusical, the baby comes out and like the baby is birthed and is like a demon. I believe is the like plot of Rosemary's Baby.
It's just to me on the Rusical. To me, it wasn't necessarily Vanjie's fault. Like to me, her part
it was
felt
written weird,
disconnected from the rest of the musical for me.
Definitely, I see that.
That's not
I see
on
that
her.
100%.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I absolutely agree with that. I thought this was a really strong Rusical overall, though. Like, I honestly think 6 out of 8 people did really well, and the other 2 did really okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think anybody did bad.
No,
like everyone did at least average or above average, or
yes.
Like the worst person for me still did well.
I was going to say I had 2 people that really kind of ended up fading for me at certain parts. And genuinely, I could have seen any combination of the other 6 winning the challenge, truthfully. Like, for me, I would say the 2 weakest, and even still, I agree with you, they did really, really well. But the 2 weakest for me were Gottmik and Angeria.
Really?
Yeah, Gottmik was, I think, the weakest for me personally. And it's only because she dropped a couple of steps in her choreo. In the background pieces, like she was trying to do the exorcist kind of pose, and it just felt like she was fading into the background a little bit in the group stuff. Angeria, I think, did okay. I had a similar issue with her, though. If I was focusing on one of the landladies, it was always Shannel. Because Shannel was doing more. Shannel was a lot more animated. Shannel's like mannerisms were a lot bigger. So if I was focusing on someone in the back, it was usually Shannel.
Interesting, because I felt the opposite.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so here's the thing. I do think Angeria did well in this on the Rusical, but to me, the one thing that was a con or a negative to me is that I kind of feel like she's falling into the same thing as Vanjie did on her season, where it's like she's always playing herself to a certain degree. And just to me, this felt very similar to her Snatch Game and very similar to her acting challenge.
I wish she had gotten the Poltergeist role. Honestly,
Me too. It would have been different. And for Nina too, like I would have loved to see Nina do Angie's part and like what she would have done.
Especially because other than Angie, I think the person that Shannel is probably the closest to as far as having worked together this season is Nina. So I think it would have been nice to see them together again doing something. I do get that though. But even then, I think both of them did really, really well.
Well, for me, because you said that for you, you could have seen like any of the top 6 like on winning, right?
Yeah, I could have seen it. Yeah.
Well, for me, I could have seen. Honestly, I could have seen only 2 people. Everyone did well again, but the 2 people that for me did the best did a lot better than everyone else.
Okay.
Like my 2 favorites were, they stood out way more than everyone else, like to me. So to me, the top 2 for me was Roxy and Georges in the performance.
I definitely see that.
Roxy, like when she started voguing in that costume, I lost my shit.
Kimchi was so good.
So good, so funny. It took me a long time. Like if I didn't know that this was Roxy's role, I would never have guessed that this is Roxy Andrews.
Her complete transformation is like she did not look like herself.
Girl, and rightfully so, talk about Gottmik's and Shannel's makeup skills, but Roxy is up there with them. Like this was so good.
I would also say, even though she does tend to do the same kind of makeup, I would put Angeria in that category as well to round it out as like a 4, because I think Angeria, though
Angie or Plastique.
Oh, duh, Plastique, of course. No, duh. Yeah. Obviously, Plastique, duh. Plastique.
Yeah.
I definitely get that. I really enjoyed Roxy in this. I thought Roxy is really stepping out of her comfort zone and succeeding in things that we wouldn't expect her to succeed in. And that's why I'm thinking I might be shifting who I think is going to win 2/3 of the way through the season. I think there's a real case for Roxy to win this season now.
Me too.
I think I've narrowed it down. I think I've narrowed it down to 2 people, but I'm shifting more currently towards I think Roxy's going to win.
Okay. Yeah, I think story-wise and like what we know of production, I would, if I had to take a guess, I would have guessed Roxy. Yeah.
But
what were your standouts? Like the 2 standouts for you?
Honestly, my top 2 would have been the top 2 that they picked, Jorgeous and Shannel.
Really?
Yes.
See, this is crazy because to me, I think Shannel did, like I said, well, but she was my least favorite.
That's so interesting.
And I love Shannel.
I think
her.
I think for me, what it was for Shannel is just the mannerisms that she had were so good. And every time she was on stage, I was looking at her because she was always doing something big and grandiose. And she had the movement. She really channeled her Barbara. She really, she really channeled it. But
Go ahead.
I was going to say, I just think there was a third person for me that I think I honestly could switch with Jorgeous. And I think I'm going to, because I do think Shannel did really, really well. But I think maybe my top 2 actually would have been Jorgeous and Vanjie. I thought Vanjie destroyed this challenge in a part that is weirdly written. I do absolutely agree with you. I think the part is a little weird in conjunction with the whole Rusical. I get that they're trying to do this like demonic sort of thing. So I guess a rap verse is like kind of the right idea. It felt a little similar like in structure juxtaposed to the whole Rusical as something like Silky as Oprah in the Cheeto Man the Rusical.
Sure.
I don't think I can actually say his name on YouTube anymore, or else they like ad revenue stuff. Fun fact.
I don't want to say his name ever.
I don't either, but you know. Links down below to register to vote if you're in the United States. And please exercise your right to vote. We're not telling you who to vote for. But if you're watching this, vote for the person you think you should. Thank you. But
and I'm not a fan of that person, but
I ain't either. But
about the bigger picture here, right? Yeah.
Vote.org, link down below. Yes. But yeah, I think Vanjie had the choreo down. Her vocals were so good. So yeah, I think actually I'm gonna say that my top 2 is Jorgeous and Vanjie, and I think the other 2 people.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I love it. No, I love it.
No, because this right here is disproving what we were just talking about me and you being the same person. Because we totally it really is. Have like opposite opinions.
Yeah.
And it's just, I love it. It makes it.
No, I love it. I do love it. But yeah, like we said, I think a lot of people did really, really well in this musical. No one flopped.
I think that's why. Because everyone did well. Yeah. So like it kind of goes to more like personal taste.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
So,
and that's how I felt. That's how I felt with a lot of challenges this season. Is a lot of it has been more personal taste based, which I really like. So
yeah, because nobody's like flopping.
No,
besides
not at
like
all.
1 or 2 queens and like one.
Plastique flopped Snatch Game and like Nina flopped the design challenge. That's about it.
Yeah,
that's about it. So
yeah.
Did you have any other thoughts on the Rusical, or shall we move to our brief runway discussion?
My one last comment is that the production, like the stage, the lighting, the costumes, the hair, everything was like, this was one of the best Rusicals in the sense of like production.
This is the best like, produced
entertainment and all of that, like one of the best overall, but the production especially.
I definitely agree with that. I think this is the most polished producing we've seen on a Rusical ever. It flowed very smoothly. I will say the one thing that I did notice, specifically at the end when they were all on stage, there's a lot of jump cuts to close-ups on
Shannel.
people.
They don't show Shannel when they show the whole group.
They don't show Nina either.
Yeah. They filmed this very well to be able to show what they want to show.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
And that,
yeah, definitely. But yeah, I thought it was a phenomenal Rusical, for sure.
Really good.
Mm-hmm. And then couple that with, I'm gonna say the best runway of this. I'm gonna say it. You're probably gonna say it. They said it. The best overall runway of this season. I'm very excited. We will be giving our full thoughts on these looks over on Look Over Here. So make sure to check that out about a day after this video goes out. But our category is Bring Back My Pearls. We're going to do...
Is there something on my face?
Is there something on my face? I fully would have done just pearls on my face.
I would have done an elevated version of like a Pearl's look. Like one of Pearl's looks.
You know, okay, yeah. You know the ensemble that she wears in the season 7 finale when she's doing her sleepwalker, like that, boa with the dress. That's what I would do.
The light pink.
Wait, no. Yeah. Or I would do an elevated version of the look that she wore in the Despies when she won that episode after saying, "Is there something on my face?"
Exactly.
That's what I do. 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
But yes, Bring Back My Pearls. We're going to give quick thoughts on all of these looks. And I mean, first up, Plastique.
One thing I have to say is they have to stop putting Plastique first on the runway. It is not fair.
I know.
It is just, it's not fair to the girls. It's not fair to us because as an audience, I do not want to see the best look first. I want something to build up. I don't want to see the best, not saying that she's always had the best look, but like, most of the time, and if it's not the best, it's one of the best. So like, just put her in the middle. You don't have to put her in the end always, but like, don't put her first every episode, please. It's not fair. I mean, look at her.
Yeah. I mean, she's that girl. Ugh, she is that girl.
That is my comment. She's that girl. Period.
My comment is going to be, she is that girl. But also, I was ever so mildly underwhelmed.
One thing I will say,
compared to
could have had more pearls. Could have had more pearls.
And I'll talk more about that on Look Over Here, but I do agree.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Angeria.
Girl.
Uh-huh.
Stupid.
Classic Angie. Really just classic Angie, done at her absolute best. This could have been her finale gown.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to see her finale gown. Oh my God, I'm so excited.
Yes.
Her and Roxy's and Plastique's. Oh my God. And actually everyone's, honestly.
Yeah.
What is Vanjie gonna do for finale gown? Oh my God, I'm so excited. No, Angie is gorge.
Oh, so good. Perfection.
Shannel.
Unexpected. Such a good surprise for me.
I'm going to say best look of the night.
To me, it's Shannel's best look on this season.
It is Shannel's best look this season. I may go even as far to say best Shannel look of all time. Mm-hmm. And it's so not Shannel. And that's what I love the most about it.
But here's the thing. It's not Shannel, but it's also
but it's so Shannel.
Very Shannel, exactly.
Oh, it's 100% very Shannel. Yeah. Got Mac.
Good. Like, not just good, like very good. But I just expect more from Gottmik. Mm-hmm. But this is polished. Very good.
As per usual, Mick does something out of the box, and in this case, I really did enjoy it.
I like that she chose the black pearls. That's great. Yeah,
it's understated in a really classy way. That's going to be my comment on it. Miss Vanjie.
I want to get up when I look at this. gives me, as a Cancer, honestly, this is one of my favorite looks, period.
I really like this for Vanjie. Because I haven't been the hugest fan of a lot of Vanjie's fashions this season, but this is real good for Vanjie. So. Gorgeous like Georges.
It's giving regular season. Not bad, but regular season.
You know, I like that she did something different. This is also, it's different for her. This is, you know, this is very good for Georges on this season. I gotta say.
But I just want more.
I do too. We're not gonna get more with 23-year-old Georges. Like, and that's just what it is. And I get it. I understand. So.
And I'm okay with it. Yeah.
I am too. Roxanne Andrews.
I think this outfit is why she wasn't in the top. Not that it's bad, but I will say, the Nude Illusion, I cannot.
In a good way or a bad way?
In a bad way.
Yeah, okay, I agree.
Like, no.
I'll talk about it more, but I do agree. I mean,
good.
as she said it herself, classic Roxy. And I liked seeing a little bit of classic Roxy on this runway. I did.
Yeah.
I really did. So. And last up, Nina West.
Very well executed. Not aesthetically pleasing for my taste, but well done.
I'm gonna say this same comment again. Really good for Nina for this season. Yeah, it's really good for her. So,
for sure.
Let's talk Untucked while we're here. Before we talk about our results.
I just want to circle back because I looked at my notes.
Oh, yes,
and there's one thing about the Rusical that I forgot to mention.
Oh my God, please mention it.
Not a soul
can clock.
I love when Drag Race
Not a soul can clock. Not a soul can clock.
I love it.
I love Monica so much.
These are the moments that make Drag Race what Drag Race is to me. Like this, I just love moments like that. It was a standout moment for me on the Rusical. Yeah.
Totally.
In second time this season.
Right?
Yeah.
Right.
Iconic.
But yes, let's talk Untucked. I thought it was perfectly fine. I loved the conversation with Christine W. And I loved getting to hear more about her and, you know, the impact that she's had and like the support she's had for the queer community, which I mean, I love an ally. Lana's not here, but she is our resident evil diva and also our resident ally. And we love her and we respect her and we take care of her in the same way she takes care of us. Breaking the fourth
Untucked
wall.
was very uneventful for me. But
we get video from Vanjie's mom, and we get a video from Angie's parents, so we get to hear a little bit about them. I'm like, cool. I love hearing all of the conversations and getting all the videos. It felt like classic Drag Race in that way, and I really liked it.
One thing that I really loved was Angie's parents in the video, that they had like Angie's pictures like on the wall on the back.
Angie's boudoir
in drag.
Like, oh my God,
I
so
just
good.
love that. Yeah.
I love it. But yes, let's go to our results. We find out that the top two queens of the week are Georges and Shannel. Do I necessarily agree? No. Are we still thrilled for Shannel? Of course we are.
My bitch. Finally. Do I agree? No. Am I happy?
I don't.
Yes.
I don't agree. I don't even care.
I don't even care. I'm not even mad.
The way she reacted to was I almost sobbed.
And everyone was
so
like, yes,
happy.
Shannel! Honestly, as a community, we needed that moment. We needed that. Honestly. Like, we could not have the Shannel.
Could not get a single badge. We couldn't.
Like, no.
Yeah, no. We could not do that to her. No.
I still think, like, I would have put Roxy in the top, but I'm not mad.
No, I think this is retribution for Shannel not winning, a couple of challenges ago, honestly. Yeah. I think this is the first time in a while that they were able to say, okay, cool. Shannel did well enough. We've shown enough of her in this episode. We can justify, giving her a top 2 placement.
Yeah, so. I didn't, I kind of felt like she was going to win, not because I felt like she did the best, but because throughout the episode, with everything that they were showing, like professionals and all of that, it was giving a Shannel win. Like, it was kind of foreshadowing that.
It was definitely giving, like, on a regular season, the girl that, like, we see struggling with some of the stuff. Yeah, Susan Lucci, or like the person who was just struggling in this challenge and maybe has been in the bottom a few times. Like, this is their win finally after a while, like that kind of energy.
I think what justifies, like I said, I don't agree. I wouldn't have put her in the top, but what justifies her being the top for me is that she surpassed expectations. Like, she did better than anyone thought that she was going to do, and her runway was great. So I think that the combination of that is what got her to the top.
Let's talk about this lip sync. The youngest and the oldest contestant of the season. I think that's a fun experience to have. They are we finally get to see Shannel lip sync on this season, and guess what? Next week we'll see it at least one more time, and that makes me very happy. Jorgeous and Shannel lip syncing to "Love Come Home," the music video edit by Christine W. My number one critique of this lip sync is just that I wish there were more words other than "Love Come Home."
Yeah. I don't know this artist, but I'm guessing that she would have better songs. Not like better songs, but better songs for a lip sync.
She does. From the little bit that I investigated her discography this morning as I was getting ready, like a little bit.
Yeah, the song was but
the song
do you agree
maybe the
that it was
worst.
A tie?
Honestly, yes. And the reason why is just
why? Yeah.
Because I think at this point, neither of these girls have won any money for their charities. And I think it was honestly just easier. And I think it's very difficult, at least for me, I would say, it's very difficult to judge these two styles of lip syncing against each other, because it is really, when people last week thought that Roxy versus Plastique was like the ultimate old school versus new school, I think this was really the ultimate, like the complete juxtaposition of old school drag and new school drag. Oh, okay.
And here's why. Okay, for me, what Roxy did last week, she not only knew the words and like performed well, but she embodied the song. Like, it felt like it was her song. She wrote it. She was comfortable, and the way that she performed the lip sync, it fit with the song for me. Like I said, I hate to say this, but I have to be honest. I have to. I love Shannel, and I love Shannel, and I know you love Shannel.
I sure do.
But this was Pointer's sister Boots.
I'm not going to say that. I see your energy. I see your energy with that. I will acknowledge and appreciate your energy on that. And I would say that, at least to a certain extent, I would agree with that.
You meet me halfway.
I will meet you halfway. But what I will say right on the borderline of where I'm going to wait for you.
Right.
But what I will say in that is I see that energy for sure. For me, it's not Charlie Hyde's pointer sister. It's not anything like that. That is, and I think this also might be because I've done a lot of viewing of Shannel in the last 12 years. That is just her lip syncing style. I gotta be honest with you. It's very old school in that she kind of just feels the music and she's going to match the energy of whatever song she's performing. I think she had a bit of difficulty because she's wearing wacko makeup. And I think
was going to say that because of the outfit.
I think if she had just changed, period, I don't know what Shannel could have changed to. I'm going to say that
she would have to change her makeup. She
literally
have changed.
So I don't think I understand. She was in a look that was, acceptable to lip sync in. It's a cat suit for sure.
But not to lip sync to this song. Do you know what I mean?
No, definitely not. And I agree with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
What I will say is that's kind of just Shannel's style, though. She's very emotive, and I got a lot of theatricality from her face. In that was what I was actually looking for from George's lip sync to make it a little bit stronger. I didn't get any sort of personality from George's in that regard, so that's what it was for me. But I thought George's really did match the energy of the song. But again, it is this new school kind of high energy dance focus sort of lip syncing against this very old school. A little Park and Bark in a lot of ways, but Park and Bark emoting, I'm going to give, I am the artist themselves as opposed to a drag queen. And so I think in that way, yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, you're fine. I was just going to say, in that way, I just think that's where I'm fine with it being a tie because I don't know how to judge these two styles against each other. That's really all it is for me.
See, for me, when it comes to performance and old school drag versus new school drag, 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna choose old school. Totally. That's just who I am.
Yeah, same here.
As a drag fan. But the problem for me, I don't think Shannel did bad in this lip sync whatsoever. And I do think George's won, but not by a landslide by any means.
Totally.
But the one problem is I was trying to see the expressions on Shannel's face, but her makeup and outfit worked against her style of lip sync. That is what
I totally agree with you. I
really believe if she was wearing something else, I would have maybe agreed with the tie.
That's fair. Yeah. I get that for sure.
But for the plot, I like it.
For the plot, I love what happened. Yeah. So they do both win. And then they have to give out right then and there. Have to give out their beautiful benefactress badge.
I like that because that was.
I like that too. So. I like that too. So they are giving out their they're giving out their beautiful benefactresses and badges. And George's gives hers as she said in the workroom, and I like this move from George's. George's is still playing a strategic game. I like seeing it. She's like, I'm going to stay true to my word. I'm going to give my second badge to Shannel. Love it. Love it. Yeah. I wish this had happened a few episodes ago, but I'll take it here. She can still win. I don't know how, but she could still win. And then Shannel says, well, I had overheard that Georgia said she was going to do this. And the first thing that I thought about was if I were in the top 2, I would give my badge to Georges. She gives her badge to Georges, and I was like, oh.
That was such a sweet moment. It was, yeah.
The two queens, I never would have thought having this cute of a connection ever. I would have never put these two together. I love their friendship so much. And then in Untucked, when they're running through the back, because obviously one got snipped, so they have to, and they're like, yes, bitch, we did it, bitch, yes. I was like, yes, I love it.
Wow.
So I am more than okay with Georges and Shannel both winning.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So this puts us in a very interesting scenario in badge count, River.
Right.
So
everyone kind of, depending on the future twists or not twists, there's a possibility of any of them making the finale.
RuPaul said any one of them could win. So I think the Lip Sync Lollapalooza next week, there has to be at least a couple of badges to be given out. I gotta think at least one probably. And then I think we're gonna see something like we did with All Star 7, where the talent show, because we know episode 11 is the talent show. We have that confirmed by Viacom. I just think it's going to be worth like 3 badges like it was on All Star 7. Like, I really just think that's kind of the scenario that we're living with. And I'm pretty sure that's what you were going to suggest as well.
I was going to say something else. I was going to say, because I don't know if you saw it, but it was how David kind of invited me to join the podcast. I commented about the possible strategy thing for the Lollapalooza. Yeah. And what I think, if I was a producer on Drag Race, I would have, so we have like the first round of lip syncs, right? I would have for that, only for the first round, I would have the winner of the lip sync choosing if she would rather win a badge herself or have the person that lost the lip sync lose a badge.
Yeah.
Not take away a badge, not give it to anyone. You just lose a badge. Because depending on
the Mario Party of it all, River. It's really the Mario Party of it all. I love it.
Because depending on like who has how many badges and who you're lip syncing against, it might be better for you to remove a badge from someone else than give yourself one.
Absolutely.
So I would think that would be a great twist.
Absolutely. I absolutely agree with that. Absolutely.
But only for the first round, because then for the second round, it would get too messy and too much.
Yeah.
And then like after the first round, I would just have the winner of the lip sync wins a badge, period.
I would either have that or I would honestly just say the winner of the 4 of you, period. And like not give out a prize. Give out maybe like $5,000 for their charities in that like semifinal round.
Right.
And then the winner of the final lip sync wins a badge. Or like we could also do a reverse bracket where the bottom 4 then have to lip sync and like avoid losing a badge too. Like I think that's also a scenario.
I want to see the best lip syncers like move up.
I want to see more lip syncs. No, I would do both at the same time. That's what I would do. I just want more lip. I want more lip syncing, but that's just me. But yeah. Well, that is that on this episode. We'll see. I'm very excited. Next week is the Lip Sync Lollapalooza, so we will be back next week in some capacity with some people talking about some things that occurred on this episode of RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars. I just came up with that, and that's really cute.
It is.
Some of us in some capacity talking about some things. That's cute. Okay, we're running with that.
Right.
Make sure to subscribe, like, and share on the way out. Let us know your winners of the Rusical down below. Check out the description below for all of our other YouTube channels, our audio podcast links, and where you can join us on Patreon for exclusive content and early access to a lot of our content, including early access to all of our Look Over Here episodes for the Drag Race franchises we are currently covering. Mexico on Thursdays, All Stars on Fridays, and France on Saturdays for those lovely things, or something like that. I don't remember, but make sure to check the description below for our social media at The Cup Pod on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. You can follow all of our crystals are down there as well, and you could go get your merch, including but not limited to cup mug as well. And we're gonna get out of here. Cheers!
Cheers!
Woo.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Why did the first thing that popped in my head just now be like, we're coming through, coming for you?
Art. Did somebody mention art?
Vote Priyanka and Lemon at the Wowies. Bye.